from the 29-yard line. The kick is high, and the kick is good.
So he must have chosen the right two, wouldn't you say? He picked it out there.
6 plays, 54 yards, and the New York Giants grab the lead.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video, and welcome to the Gridiron. Well, after a three-year absence, Ben McAdoo has found his way back into the NFC East. This time he's a consultant for the Dallas Cowboys. Mr. McCarthy signed him. Exactly what he's going to be as a consultant of, don't quite know yet. I'm certainly going to look more in depth and detail into it as time goes by, but all I can find online right now is he's going to be a consultant for the Dallas Cowboys. Last year he was the quarterback's coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but of course after they went 1-15, everybody lost their job. So McAdoo was looking for another job. He was out of football for the 2018 and 19 season. Of course, who could forget? He was our coach for 2016, 2017, 2016. Hey, we were 11-5. We were looking pretty good. Then the wide receivers decided to take a boat trip down to Florida, and it was all downhill after that. We got our rear end spanked by Mr. Rogers and his neighborhood, the Green Bay Packers, 38-13 in the playoffs. And then, boy, I'll tell you what, 2017, what a season to forget, huh? The record, Eli Manning, his streak got snapped. After we were 2-10, Mr. Mara had enough, and sent McAdoo bye-bye. Steve Spagnuolo finished the season out, but it was a horrible season. We were 2-10 after McAdoo got fired, and we finished the season 3-13. It was absolutely. We were 2-13. We won the last game of the season against the Redskins. It was a horrible, horrible season. Now, he has a long history with McCarthy. He was with the Packers, McAdoo. He was their tight ends coach from 2006 to 2011, and then he was their quarterbacks coach from 2012, 2013. And the Packers did pretty good, and of course, can't say, it's hard to say exactly how great of a quarterback coach he is when you got Aaron Rodgers there as your quarterback. But, he made his name with the Packers, and, he was looking pretty good. And, Giants got him, scoffed him up, and when Coughlin retired, forced to retire, quit, got fired, whatever officially happened, we scoffed them up. I remember the Eagles wanting to requesting to talk to him possibly about getting the coaching job with the Eagles, and the Giants didn't want that happening, so they signed him before the Eagles got a chance to. I guess if you look back at it, it would have been better off if we just let the Eagles sign him, but it is what it is. So we had those two memorable seasons with him. The first one was pretty good. The second one was pretty bad. Now, I can understand. We were 2-9 at the time. We were going to go play the Raiders, and we weren't going anywhere. And just to try to change it up, I could see bringing another quarterback in. But the thing is that Eli was 210 consecutive regular season games, 222 games overall with the playoffs, 210 regular season games in a row, and you bench him for Geno Smith. Wow. And if Geno wasn't the answer, anybody could have told you Geno wasn't the answer. Geno played well against the Raiders, but we lost 24-17. And, that was the end of that. I mean, I can see you got to try things that, you're the coach. You're trying to do what's best for the team. I understand. But, I mean, messing around with that streak, wow, pretty stupid. But Ben McAdoo is not the first one to screw over a quarterback with a lengthy games played streak going on. I mean, the Giants just seem to have this thing going about screwing over quarterbacks. Well, Geno Smith is the answer to the Trivial Pursuit question. Who took over for Eli Manning? That snapped who's the quarterback that came in to help snap Eli Manning's quarterback streak? Well, of course we know it's all Geno Smith. Now I got another Trivial Pursuit question for you. What does Ben McAdoo and Alex Webster have in common? Give up? Well, they were both coaches that pretty much snapped a lengthy games played streak. Now, with Eli, it was 210 regular season games started in a row. When Alex Smith stopped Fran Tarkenton's consecutive games played streak in 1971, Fran had played 153 games in a row. Now, he didn't start them all, but he either started them or he came in off the bench and played. So he played in 153 games in a row. One of his more memorable ones was his first game ever. For some reason, he didn't start. His first game ever was in 1961 for the Vikings. He was drafted in the 3rd round, and he came from Georgia. We love those Georgia Bulldogs, even back in the 60s, huh? So he got drafted by Georgia in the 3rd round, but in the first game of the season against the Chicago Bears, it was on September 17th, 1961, he came in off the bench. And he led the Vikings, the first season in Vikings history, against the Chicago Bears. They beat them 37-13. But Fran Tarkenton was the first quarterback ever to throw for 4 touchdown passes in his first start ever. And he also ran one in too. Now that record's since been tied. Marcus Mariota tied it in 2015 when he was playing for the Titans. They beat they played against the Tampa Bay in 2015. Marcus Mariota threw for 4 touchdown passes. Looked like his career was off and running, huh? Well, things changed a little bit since then, haven't they? But anyway, Fran Tarkenton, when he was with the Giants from 67 to 71. Now, there was a couple times there he was kind of like talking about holding out and not wanting to play. And after the 71 season was over, he wanted to get traded. And so the Giants traded him back to Minnesota. But he played in 153 consecutive games. The last game of the season, the Eagles came to play the Giants in Yankee Stadium. Now, the season was long over. The Giants were 4-9 at the time. Not going to be in the playoffs or anything like that. So Alex Webster sat Fran Tarkenton, and he put Randy Johnson, the quarterback, in. And Fran Tarkenton didn't play at all. So his 153 consecutive game streak that he played in was snapped by another New York Giant coach. Giants got their asses handed to them by the Eagles that day. Yankee Stadium 41-28. And that was the last time that Fran Tarkenton ever suited up for the New York Giants. He went on to go back to the Minnesota Vikings, where he came from, and he played in 3 didn't win any of them, but he took the Vikings to 3 Super Bowls. And then the Giants just floundered around the rest of the 70s. But anyway, so Ben McAdoo and Alex Webster both have screwed over quarterbacks in consecutive game streaks played. So just a little tidbit of information for you. But if the Cowboys don't play well again this year, Mike McCarthy might be bye-bye, and so then Ben McAdoo might be bye-bye, looking for another job. But Mr. McAdoo is back in the NFC East for at least one more year. Now, Then the next bit of news that I saw, the salary cap. Next year, possibly, the ceiling could be up to $208 million. That's well over, $20 million increase from this year. Now, that doesn't mean it will be 208. That's the possibility that might be the number. It could be a little bit lower than that, okay? But the ceiling is $208.2 million. So that's pretty good. The problem is that the Giants already have, according to Over the Cap, anyway, right? The Giants have over $202 million with committed contracts for next year. So that leaves them about $6.1 million that they have in salary for next year. That's bad. And the something to make it even worse is that, that's not including signing our rookies. Now, having 2 first-round picks is fantastic. But now, just conservatively speaking, if we get the number 10 pick next year, it's going to cost about $3.5 million to sign him. If we get the number 15 pick next year, it's going to cost about $2.8 million to sign him. If we get the number 20 pick next year, it's going to cost about $2.5 million to sign him. So however you look at it, we got 2 number 1 picks, unless we trade them away or whatever. But I mean, as of right now, all right, we're looking at about at least, I'm going to just say conservatively, $5 to $5.5 million just to sign our first 2 first-round picks. Then, because we got a second, all right, we got a third, so the second round, we got, we have a boatload of picks. But I mean, the second rounder itself, just say, is going to be probably over $1 million. So between the first 2 first rounders we got and the second rounder, we're looking at probably about roughly, say, at least $6.5 million. So those first 3 picks are going to cost us $6.5 million. We got $6.1 million to spend next year. So things are going to be pretty tight next year. Of course, they'll be able to work things around, take some money here, maybe, do some stuff with the guys' salaries and all of that stuff. And, I said maybe, let maybe Sterling Shepard go. We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, because, you a lot of salary out there. We're going to have to let some guys go. And I said, that's not even thinking about trying to re-sign Lorenzo Carter, Will Hernandez, Evan Ingram. I hope not, but Jabrill Peppers. So things are going to be a little tight next year. Now that according to Sport Track, they kind of guesstimate might possibly what might wind up happening is that in 2023. Okay, the salary, and just guesstimate, the salary might maybe be around $220 million. Well, I mean, as of right now, on the books, we only have $118 million worth of salary. So for 2023, as of right now, we have, $100 million to spend. So that's pretty good. But we're going to need that. I mean, what are we going to do with Saquon? Daniel Jones, right? Is he going to be the quarterback? If he is, it's going to cost some money. So you start signing some guys. You sign Daniel Jones, add an extra maybe $20-25 million a year onto his salary. If you got Saquon, that $100 million that we're going to have, is going to get chewed up pretty quickly. So they're going to have the front office. They're going to have to do some pretty magical things with the numbers to sign some new ball players. But what I looked at, I think there's like a new deal coming out. So in 2024, I was kind of surprised. I knew there was a new deal coming out, but they kind of, on Sport Track, I saw that they said that possibly, all right, they looked at, with this new deal coming out, that there might be over $300 million in salary cap in 2024. what I saw was possibly $327 million. Now, that's just a guesstimate, but over $300 million, all right? And the good news is that as of right now, the Giants' active contracts for 2024, all right, they only have $27 million on the books. So if you want to look down the road, look on the bright side. Down the road in 2024, all right, the Giants might have about $300 million to spend in salary cap. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!